Yeah, I got scanned tomorrow, so yeah, just got to wait and see, get the results back from there.
And when it went yesterday, you obviously good as you came up. What was the feelings there when you not managed to quite just get through to it?
Yeah, obviously severely disappointed. I think any player is when they have to leave the field, but yeah, look, I literally can't say anything until I hop in the MRI scanner and wait until the specialists report back.
And in terms of your participation today, what was the equation there? It was clearly a long way off. Was there any likelihood or possibility that you could battle or remotely tempted to?
Yeah, well, there's so many situations or scenarios that this game could have ended up in, and would have been nice to have gone out there, because then the scenario would have meant that we were getting close.
And in terms of the match itself, obviously the margin is pretty big, but a loss is a loss. What do you take from the week here at Hamilton?
Well, I think we came here to beat New Zealand, a team who, wherever they go in the world, are very competitive, and knew that they were going to be full of confidence after their historic win in India. So look, to play the cricket that we did in the first two games was very, very pleasing. We came here this week with the same attitude, same mindset that we always do in the same two games out here. We know we just didn't play anywhere near our capability, and it's obviously disappointing to end the tour and end the sort of year with a loss, but look, what we came here to achieve, we managed to achieve, and look, it's no mean feat coming to New Zealand and beating them, because they're a very, very strong team in their home conditions.
And that year in the round, you played a hell of a lot of Test cricket, big gap coming now. I guess how does the England Test team end the year in terms of is it in stronger shape, more clarity than the one that entered the year?
Yeah, I think we've had a lot of opportunities given to inexperienced guys at this level who have showed that they have what it takes to not only compete but also deliver defining match-winning moments at the highest level. Gus Atkinson, probably the standout one. What a 2024 he's had since he came into the Test team against West Indies. Those numbers that he's managed to stack up at the end of this is just incredible. I think everyone knows what they are. Brydon Cass again got his opportunity out in Pakistan in the Test team and has just gone from strength to strength from there. And so yeah, look, in particular with the bowling, having Gus and Bash in the top 3 wicket takers in the year. Very, very happy with how 2024's gone.
Any more questions? Yeah, go ahead.
Ben, away from our scan the year 3, but is there anything you learn and you can take into whatever the recovery period is this time?
Anything?
You mentioned kind of last time you don't push yourself too hard to get back too soon. This time, do you think you'll maybe take a lesson from that and just get yourself right for 5 months for the next test?
Yeah, I think that's the difference is how much time I've got in between this injury compared to the last one. Obviously, my injury in the summer, straight away looked at, we've got a certain amount of time until the next Test series, whereas this one, it's we've got ages till we meet up as a Test team again. So, but I can't go into too much detail until we actually know what the extent of the injury is.
No doubt your mind will come next summer. That's who goes to India. You're in that team as a bowling all-round.
Certainly hope so. Yeah, it's not that bad.
Ali, go ahead, and Andrew.
Is there anything good about hopefully going to this final test? I know the series is wrapped up, so therefore people from the outside might conclude, well, mission accomplished, intensity drops a little bit, or is it just that a guy like Malone bowling 95 from 6 for 3 is he just had his day and you guys couldn't quite bowl it?
Look, I think cricket's always a game of skill against skill from opposition to opposition. The first 2 games of the series, our skill completely, outdid New Zealand's skill, and this game, it was basically the a flip around of that. All 3 games have been pretty convincing wins by us in the first 2 in New Zealand and this one. And yeah, look, it's severely disappointing as a team because we obviously want to win every game we go out and play. And we're just disappointed that we were nowhere near our best. We know that we've not performed anywhere near the capability that we have in that dressing room. And that shows in the performances we put in the first 2 games. Sometimes it is what it is. You can never put your finger on why you've not managed to sustain the quality of output that you try to achieve all the time. New Zealand just completely outplayed us, and I think just going back to Will O'Rourke, I think he's been an amazing find for New Zealand cricket. Someone who can bowl at that pace, at that height, is going to be a huge asset to any team. He really let the handbrake go this game. He was troubling our batsmen. I guess looking back on reflection, when we do come up against something like that, we need to be quicker as a batting group to identify where can we put someone who's obviously in a good spell, finding their rhythm, finding their length, making it hard for us. How can we put pressure back onto them? We managed to do that to Tim Southee and Matt Henry in particular, and Nathan Smith in the first 2 games, and we just weren't quite able to do it to O'Rourke this game. But look, he's bowled incredibly well for New Zealand throughout the whole series, and this game, as a fan of cricket, it was nice seeing a young lad running and bowl some thunderbolts.
Andrew, and then we'll take a couple more. Go ahead.
My question was along the lines. You've seen some great bowls in your career. Where would you rank him at the moment in terms of his trajectory and what he's
again, don't want to. I think we can all be very guilty of looking at someone who's got some amazing talent, and you can sort of see where they could get to. But I think just let him go about his business. Let him find out more about himself as a bowler. Let him find out, what Test cricket like as you play more. But there's no doubt whatsoever that he's a phenomenal talent. I know Tim Southee's now called a day in his career, and I think that means Will O'Rourke's going to get plenty more opportunities. But there's no doubt there's a lot of talent there. But suggestion just call it and just let him find his way.
Any more?
Spoke a bit more about Jacob Beckford in this last month. We probably expected to when we arrived, but today again he kind of has showed just another little bit to his game. He's of all those players you mentioned who've stepped up this year, he's maybe a bit of a bonus, really.
Look, there's obviously question marks around his selection in the first game. I don't think there'll be any more with how he's played this whole series. He's 21, he's looked completely unflappable in the situations that he's found himself out there in a position that he's not got any experience, I don't think, at first-class cricket, batting number 3 and striding out there in a test match against a very skillful opening pair in Tim Southee and Matt Henry. I just thought he just looked completely unflustered, and when he got in, he can really, really play. It's great seeing a lad with a boatload of talent get given an opportunity and be able to go out there and transfer that into some match-defining moments.
Ali, last one, please.
Sorry, just going back to the bowling. You in your career, you made a virtue of getting into big long spells. I'm just wondering if that is something that you might have to look at in next year, because you love bowling these sort of 6, 7, 8 over spells. Would that change anything, do you think, in terms of the likelihood of injuries occurring?
No, look, every time you walk out to a field as an athlete, you're putting yourself at risk of getting injury, whether you feel great or you don't feel great. Worked my arse off to get to where I was in this game in particular with my body. It's just sod's law that first time in a while where I feel like I'm young again, something happens. Obviously incredibly disappointing walking off yesterday. Very emotional about the whole thing, but then when you sleep on it, you're always asking yourself, could I have done more? Should I have done this? Should I have done that? But when you sleep on it and you take the emotion out of it, you realise that when you're walking out there, you're always putting yourself at risk of an injury. That's what it is. But absolutely no. I worked really hard to get myself into position to play the role that I did this game, and just one of those unfortunate things. But nah, I ain't holding back.